Welcome to Nightmare Story, real stories. Turn off the lights and listen closely.
During my time attending a small university in northern Oregon, I became accustomed to the long, drawn-out winters, characterized by relentless rains that created a consistently gloomy and damp atmosphere year-round. March typically marked the end of midterm exams, a time when students sought outdoor activities such as skiing or retreating to isolated cabins in the woods to unwind. In my final year, I decided to organize a weekend trip to Mount Hood with a group of close friends, unaware that the peaceful excursion would devolve into a chilling nightmare. Ethan took charge of arranging the trip. Our group included Brian, my roommate, David, a graphic design student, Alex, a quiet but highly reliable guy, and Jenna, David's ex-girlfriend. Though they maintained an unusually friendly relationship, we rented an old rustic cabin deep within the forest, about a 20-minute drive from the ski resort. The cabin was charmingly rustic, 2 stories high, featuring a large fireplace, creaking wooden floors, a small mysterious attic, and a porch overlooking a snow-covered valley. It stood isolated amidst towering pines, their branches whispering eerily in the wind. Initially, our trip started pleasantly. We spent time playing board games, cooking meals together, drinking beers, and sharing humorous stories. The warmth of the fireplace contrasted beautifully with the icy wilderness outside, and the cozy atmosphere made us momentarily forget the desolation of our surroundings. However, as darkness enveloped the deep woods, the atmosphere shifted dramatically when an unexpected 6th guest appeared. The man introduced himself as Tom, claiming to be an old classmate of David. David mentioned that they had previously arranged to ski together but had forgotten to inform the group. This made me uneasy because David wasn't typically someone who overlooked such details. Nevertheless, as the cabin had an extra sleeping spot and everyone had already consumed plenty of beer, no one objected to Tom staying. From the beginning, Tom exhibited peculiar behavior. While he appeared gentle, his eyes held an enigmatic quality, constantly observing everyone in a meticulous, slow manner. Despite the laughter and cheerfulness around him, Tom rarely genuinely smiled, only silently watching with deeply mysterious eyes. His stare felt cold and penetrating, as if he was peeling away layers of our souls. This made me anxious, but I reassured myself that perhaps I was just imagining things. However, by the following morning, signs of odd occurrences became evident. I woke up to discover my toothbrush dipped in a dark, viscous brown substance. No one took responsibility, including Tom, the person I suspected the most. Jenna discovered her luggage had been thoroughly rummaged through, her underwear scattered around the room as if someone intentionally wanted to unsettle her. A palpable tension began to infiltrate everyone's minds. The situation deteriorated further during breakfast when Alex, usually the calmest among us, mentioned his wallet was missing. Everyone instinctively glanced at Tom, but he merely sipped his coffee with an unreadable expression. The atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive as trust between us eroded. We began locking our bedroom doors and whispering suspicions behind closed doors. Jenna told me in hushed tones that she'd caught Tom standing at the end of her bed in the middle of the night, unmoving, before disappearing down the hallway. On the second night, events took a terrifying turn. We were playing Truth or Dare by the fireplace to pass the time. When it was Tom's turn, Jenna jokingly asked, "Truth, when was the last time you stalked someone?" Everyone laughed but quickly quieted, awaiting Tom's reaction. He smiled faintly, his eyes eerily reflecting the flickering firelight, and slowly replied, "If I answer honestly, would any of you dare to sleep tonight?" An unsettling silence overtook the room. Brian attempted to lighten the mood with a joke but failed utterly. The game ended abruptly, leaving everyone deeply unsettled. Around 2 o'clock in the morning, I jolted awake to the soft sound of footsteps on the attic floor. I was certain everyone else was sound asleep. So, grabbing a small flashlight, I quietly ascended the stairs, extremely uneasy. The attic was empty, but the window was wide open, with snow lightly covering the floor and strange footprints leading from inside outwards. Upon returning downstairs, my heart nearly stopped when I saw Tom standing motionless at the foot of the stairs, his piercing eyes fixed on me. He whispered, "I heard noises. Thought you heard them too." Then vanished into the darkness. Sleep eluded me that night, and my anxiety heightened when I noticed strange scratching noises from outside my bedroom window, as if someone or something was deliberately trying to unnerve me. In the faint moonlight, I saw shadows shifting among the trees outside, shapes that seemed too tall, too distorted to be human. My imagination ran wild, conjuring visions of Tom silently watching from the shadows, waiting. That night, I dreamt of suffocating in my sleep, only to wake gasping and feeling the sensation of someone just leaving the room. The next day, bizarre incidents continued. Alex lost his phone, Brian found his whiskey bottle contaminated with barbecue sauce. David was horrified to discover pictures of the entire group sleeping printed from an old printer in the basement, a device that had remained unused until then. Even more disturbingly, Jenna discovered strands of hair carefully placed in her shoes, clearly not hers. I found my name etched into the frost on the attic window, scraped from the inside. Overwhelmed by anxiety, we decided to have a serious conversation but found Tom had completely disappeared, even though his car remained parked outside the cabin. Reviewing footage from the camera I installed, we were horrified to see Tom standing motionless for hours outside Jenna's window at 3 in the morning. His breath fogged up the glass, forming a pattern that resembled a distorted smile. Panicked, we quickly packed our belongings, but David's car wouldn't start. Someone had removed the spark plugs, and Alex's car had all its tires slashed. Fear escalated rapidly when we realized our phones had no service, and the cabin's landline had been deliberately cut. A note was found under Brian's pillow, simply reading, "One by one." After nearly 2 desperate hours of calling for help, forest rangers finally arrived. They discovered a terrifying bag filled with knives, ropes, duct tape, and a notebook meticulously detailing each person's sleeping positions, routines, and private conversations that Tom had no plausible way of overhearing. Additionally, a detailed map marked with chilling symbols indicated hiding spots around the cabin, leaving us to wonder what other horrors he had prepared. When questioned by the police, David trembled as he confessed, "I don't know who he is. I made him up for fun." I had never seen David cry before that moment. Tom completely vanished, leaving no trace behind. Authorities found evidence suggesting he had been living secretly nearby for days, monitoring us. We kept the chilling footage, and every night, I distinctly feel his gaze silently observing us, lurking patiently in the shadows, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike again.
Thank you for listening to this story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and return every night to Nightmare Story for more true horror stories. See you next time.